I think a couple of you were on before I said this, but today's practice will be more of a standing practice. So we'll do a little bit of centering and then we'll get started with some warm-ups. But for the most part, the majority of our practice will be maybe a little bit more focused on standing. So if you just want to start there, or you want to start seated in a chair, as opposed to being on the floor, you're more than welcome to. And other than that, we're going to take a moment just to come into the breath. So sometimes arriving onto the mat is the hardest part. And sometimes beginning the practice of yoga is taking a moment to do that shift. Sometimes it feels like a subtle shift. Sometimes it feels like a huge shift to go from kind of being in all the roles that we play, whether it is navigating a household or family or our busy day-to-day lives. There's or helping out parents, whatever it is, we always have these routines, these obligations, these things we have to do, which is part of life. And how we can sometimes navigate fulfilling our own cup and also supporting a space to give ourselves a moment of presence. We try to get out of all those things that we are called to do and bring ourselves back to more presence within our own body. So I invite you right now just to take a moment to notice one of your senses. If you have your eyes closed, you might focus on the things that you hear. And those things that you hear might be the sounds that are my voice, the sounds that are around you. Maybe because of the nicer weather, you're hearing sounds from the outside. You might even notice if those sounds are in the same room as you or if they are in a different room. Sometimes we have sounds that are all the time, such as like heating and cooling systems or fans. And if we tune in, we can notice the sounds. Maybe you can notice the sound of your own breath. Even the structures that we live in carry sounds. Sometimes a well-loved floor makes some sounds. Sometimes there's just a general warmth to the room that you're in, and it has its own sound. Sometimes what we notice about hearing is the lack of sound, right? Even our om that we do at the end, it's not just the vocalization of the om, it's that silence at the end. I invited a lot around the sense of hearing. Maybe take a moment to notice if you feel warm or cool right now. And also invite in attention to the breath. We started out with thinking of all the roles and the places and the things that kind of call our attention, obligations that we have in our life. These aren't necessarily things that feel put upon us, right? We have the roles that we have, hopefully, to do the things that we want to do and want to be. And to be able to do those things, we need space in our own mind. We need time for our own presence to fulfill those things, and navigate through them without burnout, without fatigue, without too much stress. So take just one more breath here, and then we'll get moving. Now, if you feel complete, maybe there's a word or two that you speak to your heart. Maybe you bring your hand to your heart. And then we'll start our warm-ups. So if you like traditional cow-cat pose coming to tabletop, you could come there. I'm going to demonstrate standing cow-cat pose today. So just in case you've never tried it, and like I said, I'm going to focus a lot of our practice today a little bit more upright and standing. And um, the one thing that when we go from a fours position to a standing position, we have the leverage of our legs that just make a little bit more full range movement. So when I think of cat pose standing, I think about being able to kind of draw the shoulders forward, draw the chin down, and tuck the tailbone under. So we're really rounding and curling the spine. It might feel like you're on your way to a forward fold. And then cow pose, we lift the chest, we sink back into the hips, right? But if you're doing it in tabletop, right, same thing. You're articulating through the spine, rounding the spine for cat pose, and arcing and lifting the spine for cow pose. And if you do not have your hands on the floor, you might even invite in movement to accentuate the spinal movement, right? So if you're doing the standing, right, you could lift the heart and draw the arms back. And as you come forward, almost as if you're hugging a beach ball, you can curl and round. And whether you're standing or kneeling, right, you can also start to move this around into other spaces, other pockets of tension. Just warming up the body. And then coming to stillness. So again, it could be tabletop extension or you're standing. Let's just take a moment of balance. So if you are in tabletop extension, right, if you're in fours, you're going to go ahead and lift your right leg. If you're standing, you're going to shift into your left foot and point the right toes back. And you might even lift and lower those toes. So we're just playing around with a little bit of balance in the body. Starting to create strength or activation in the leg. And then let's go ahead and lower that knee or that foot. Round the spine if you need to. So if something like child's pose feels good for you, you can do child's pose here. If you're standing and need a little back release, you're going to take a forward fold. And then coming back to a straight spine, whether that is tabletop or again standing tall. Go ahead and extend the left leg if you're in tabletop, or you're shifting into that right leg and sending the left toes back, whether you float or hover the leg or keep the toes down. Just starting to play around with a little bit of balance and length in the body. Once again, you can lower the knee or lower the feet. Child's pose, rounding the spine, taking a forward fold if you're standing, releasing any tension. Now, if you weren't tabletop, let's prepare to come up to standing. So from fours, you could tuck the toes under. You could strengthen the shoulders with a little micro bend to the knee elbows, and then press the hips up high and back. You can stay in down dog for a little bit, or you can come to a forward fold. For those of you that did the warm-ups as standing, you might be in a forward fold. And once we all meet in that forward fold, let's go ahead and roll all the way up to standing. We all found our upright space. All right, so it's been a while since I offered the golden seed as a practice, and we're going to incorporate it into some of our flows today. So I like to just start out with initiating the movements. You didn't have to take notes anytime you've practiced that with me before. We will just go ahead and get started. And the thing about the golden seed is we think of our energy as it's all around us, right? It's always changing. And we consider that we might be able to kind of focus on moving energy. And even though we don't think of it as breathing, breath is energy, right? Breath is our lifeline. And so we can play around with it in our hands as a visual today. And I hope that this is just another fun way to explore energy in your body besides the breath. So if you want, you're going to start to imagine that you are holding a beautiful golden seed, right, that you want to care for. And you could kind of circle around it. You can imagine really a golden seed as any shape that you want and any size, any depth. But the other thing about kind of working with the energy is, can you feel like a little connection between the top hand and the bottom hand? Sometimes if we hold the hands like even like a millimeter apart without touching, we sometimes get this little frenetic sense that there's a little resistance between the two palms. You could even clap the hands and create a little friction to feel it if you're not getting that sense. But if you do energy work, if you've ever done this with me before, you might get a sense, that there's something there. And if we think of this as a seed, right, one of the things that a seed may need is a little sunlight to be cultivated and grow. So the first thing we're going to do with the golden seed is we're going to go and get it and lift that seed up towards the sky. So you can hold it overhead wherever it's comfortable. It can be with the elbows bent, or you can reach all the way up. And then you can think of this as high mountain pose, right? We do this, right? Feet are grounded into the floor. You're lengthening up through the upper body to grow your seed. You're going to take a couple breaths here, feeling that long line in the body. And then go ahead and bring that seed back down to heart center. Once again, you might play and sculpt around with it a little bit. And then let's go ahead and bring that energy into our body. So you're going to take that seed that you've cultivated and bring it into your heart. Once you push it into the chest, when you feel like that energy is released, go ahead and let the arms come to the side and just kind of shake out the arms. Sometimes energy is sticky. Release any remaining energy. We'll be playing with more energy balls throughout. Now, setting up the feet, we usually do the golden seed with the feet about hip width apart. And then we do play around a little bit with balance, but also just know that this is a piece you can leave out if moving through the ankles doesn't feel great for you, but play around with that. Go ahead and turn the right toes out and then bring them back in, turn the left toes out, bring them back in. There'll be a practice where we turn both toes in and parallel and try both feet out. This is usually where we test our balance a little bit and back in. So, and then just make sure that even though we're hip width apart, that still feels like you can kind of move around in the hips so that, again, that energy can just kind of flow throughout the body. So we're going to add in our next posture, pushing the walls away. So once again, you're going to start to gather some energy up around heart center. We're going to go ahead and bring this energy up overhead. So again, we're nourishing it. This is like high mountain. And then when we start to come to push the walls away, we're just going to start with the upper arm movement of this because I want to give you 3 options for this pose. The 3 options are you can pick later on which one just works best for you. First option is push the walls away with just the arms. So as if you're drawing this golden seed energy around you, you're going to bring the arms out wide, palms face away, as if you're drawing a circle around you. I feel like my background kind of envisions like a golden seed that you surround yourself with. So we just push the walls away. We hold that energy around our body. So that is just with the arms. Let's go ahead and scoop that energy back up overhead. Now we're going to add the pivot on the feet as well. So same thing, we're going to move the arms out and we're going to point the toes out, push the walls away. So if knee bending isn't always a favorite, this might be your push the walls away, right? If ankle pivots don't feel good, then you're not going to do the ankle pivot. Go ahead and gather that energy back up, parallel the feet. And now if you want to add knee bend and foot pivot and the arms open, right, push the walls away is like goddess pose, right? So we sink down into the knees bent, the toes point away from the body, and we push the walls away. So you got kind of three options when we come to push the walls away. Go ahead and once again, extend the legs, reach up to the sky, parallel the feet. And then we'll go ahead and bring that energy back to heart center, feeling that connection to that ball that we've been cultivating. And just like we kind of drew a protective bubble around us, it's another way that you can utilize our energy when we're growing it, right? So imagine that you're splashing that energy over your body just to protect or send an energy field if you need it today. And again, once you release that energy, if it feels like it's remaining in the hands, go ahead and give it a little shake. And then notice if you can feel the pulse and sensation around the body. All right, so let's add on our next thing, but just as a little prep for that, this is usually done in a forward fold. But if you're having a day where that would be really dizzying, this is another way you can do elephant trunk swing. So the elephant trunk swing is you imagine that your arms are these beautiful, graceful elephant trunks, right? And so when we use this, and this will again be in a forward fold in a moment, but you're going to swing the elephant trunk open to the right. You're also going to point the right toes out to the side. And then you're going to swing it back in and parallel the foot. You're going to do the same thing on the other side. Swing the elephant trunk to the left and parallel the foot and come back. Let's do one more time each side. Feels kind of good, right? Swing the elephant trunk to the right and return. Swing the elephant trunk to the left and return. Okay, so let's fold that into what we're doing. The only other thing we're going to add here is, like I said, you're going to do that in a forward fold in a moment here. So if you choose. So go ahead and find your energy. Go ahead and kind of sculpt it. Feel the work happening between the hands. And then let's go ahead and grow that seed. Push the arms up to the sky. Now we're going to push the walls away, your version, right? So take a deep breath in and exhale, push the walls away. Feel the heat in the legs. Feel again this sort of energy around you. On your next inhale, let's go ahead and parallel the feet, reach up to the sky. And if you're doing a fold, you're going to take that energy. Imagine that you're planting into the earth, right? Soil gives us nutrition. You're just going to bring that energy seed into the floor. You're going to set it aside for a moment and let it grow. Setting up for elephant trunk swing. Your hands can be toward the floor. They can be pressed into your shins or your thighs. And we're going to think about that swing. So let's go ahead and inhale, swing open to the right. You can again pivot on the right toes as well. And then exhale, return. Inhale, swing open to the left. Exhale, return. Now we got to pick that energy back up. Bend the knees. Good body mechanics, right? It grew. It's got a lot of density to it. So you're going to sit into your chair holding that energy, and then you're going to push it all the way back up to the sky. Ooh, all right. Bring the energy back down to heart. Again, it might feel a little different. Now we can bring the energy in our body, around our body. The last thing we can do, even through the internet, we can send it out into the universe and to each other if we want. Now, you'll get that option for every time. You can bring the energy into the heart. Sorry, you probably just got a thunk on the mic there. You can cast it around yourself or you can send it out. Sometimes we just know what needs to happen with the energy. Dipping bird, it's our last thing to add. And we always do dipping bird twice. I'm going to turn to the side to show this one. So this is the one where if you're comfortable with turning the toes in, you're turning the toes in. So dipping bird comes from when we're reaching overhead, and then you're going to pitch forward. So the spine stays straight, the legs stay straight, and you swing the arms back and turn the toes in. Whoosh, right? You can feel that sort of gust of energy swim through you, and then you're going to scoop the energy back up overhead, parallel the feet. And we always do dipping bird twice, right? So again, dip forward, and then scoop that energy back up overhead and parallel the feet. All right, that's the whole golden seed we'll put together, and then we'll fold it into our warrior work today. But we'll do 3 golden seeds right in a row here. Okay, find your energy. On an inhale, reach it up to the sky. On your next exhale, push the walls away. On your next inhale, again, reach back up to the sky, parallel the feet. And now we're going to plant the energy down into the earth. Setting up for elephant trunk swing. On an inhale, swing open to the right. Exhale, return. Inhale, swing open to the left. Exhale, return. Now go ahead and gather that energy up. The density of the soil and the nutrients. You might have to bend the knees, good body mechanics, and then push all the way back up to the sky. 2 dipping birds. When you're ready, take an inhale here. Exhale. Whoosh. Good. Gather that energy back up, scoop it back up to the sky. And again, whoosh. Good. Go ahead and gather that energy up one more time, parallel the feet. Go ahead and bring that energy back down to heart center. Decide where you need it to go. In, around, or out. And when it's time, release. Beautiful. All right, second golden seed here. Go ahead and gather up some energy. Reach it up to the sky. Push the walls away. Gather that energy back up to the sky. And go ahead and plant it down into the earth. On an inhale, swing open to the right. Exhale, return. Inhale, swing open to the left. Exhale, return. Scooping that energy up halfway, like chair pose, and then pushing all the way up to the sky. 2 dipping birds. Take a nice big breath in here and exhale. Whoosh. Gather that energy back up. Take a nice big breath in and exhale. Once again, scoop that energy back up, parallel the feet. Bring that energy back down to heart center. You might be feeling the heat of energy work. Notice where this energy is needed. When it's ready, release it. We've got one more round that we're going to do, and then we're going to fold it into our warrior practice today. So once again, let's go ahead and gather up energy. Let it grow, reach it up to the sky. Exhale, push the walls away. Go ahead and gather that energy back up overhead. And then let's plant it back down into the earth, giving it some nutrients. On an inhale, elephant trunk swing to the right. Exhale, return. Inhale, swing open to the left. Exhale, return. Go ahead and scoop that energy up off of the floor halfway. And then push it all the way up to the sky. Take a nice big breath in here. And exhale, dipping bird. Gather that energy back up. Take a nice big breath in and exhale, dipping bird second time. Gather that energy back up. Bring it back down to heart center. Again, decide where you need it to go and release it. Mountain pose. This is a beautiful warm-up. It gets into all our muscles. Maybe you feel some humming, a sense of vibration around. Notice how your mind feels too, right? We have all the roles that we need to do in our life. Now we're taking a moment for us. We're revitalizing our energy. If you need a drink of water, also hydrate yourself. It's getting warmer out. We forget to drink water sometimes. All right, looks like everybody's ready to go. So, as I mentioned, we're going to bring this into some of our warrior poses that we often do. So, if you're facing the short edge of your mat, you're going to come near the top, just so you have plenty of space behind you. Go ahead and start to bring your hands to heart center, or you might just play with a little energy ball here. You can almost feel like we can play a little bit of like a juggling role with energy if that's what you choose to play with your hands today. Go ahead and shift into your right foot more than your left. And we're going to step it into warrior two. So whether you take one big step or two, you're going to bring that leg back now, warrior distance. You can spin that back heel down. You can bend into that front knee and then opening up the arms. Warrior two. Feel the strength of the posture of warrior two. Press the feet down into the earth. Squeeze through the leg muscles, the belly muscles, the seat muscles. Strong warrior. Again, if you're playing with that energy ball, imagine that you place it on the palm of that right hand and then toss it up into the air and back for coming into goddess warrior. Feel the space in the ribs. Feel the opening to the front body. Keep the strength in the legs. Take one more inhale here, and then exhale, coming forward and down into extended side angle. Using strength from the belly. Let's rise back up. Warrior two. Warrior two. Again, bring hands to heart center or a chi ball. Start to spin on the back heel, and using strength of energy and muscles, let's bring it back up to the top of the mat. Mountain pose. Go ahead and step the feet hip width apart. You could also jump the feet apart if you're feeling adventurous today. From mountain pose, let's go ahead and reach the arms up to the sky for high mountain pose. On an exhale, push the walls away. Next inhale, gather up the energy, reach it up overhead, and then exhale. Go ahead and plant it down into the earth. On an inhale, swing open to the right. Exhale, return. Swing open to the left. Exhale, return. Gather that energy up from the earth. Come halfway. Go ahead and push the energy back up the rest of the way. High mountain. Two dipping birds. Take an inhale here. Exhale. Send it back. Scoop up that energy again. Reach up. And dipping bird. Go ahead and parallel the feet and reach up once again. Bring that energy back down. Heart center. Decide where it needs to go and release. Setting up our warrior pose on the second side. So left foot stays forward, hands come to heart center, or you hold a chi ball. Add a moment of steadiness. Go ahead and take it back. Warrior two. Warrior two. Opening up the arms. Feeling the leg muscles work here, pressing the feet down into the floor, drawing the heels towards each other, lifting the heart. Good. Again, as if you want to toss or hold a ball on that front if you're doing the energy work. Flip that left palm up and back. Still using strength from the legs to hold you here. Let's come forward and through into extended side angle. Rise back up, warrior two. Warrior two again, hold hands to the center or energy ball and start to look forward. Maybe pick up that back heel and step it forward. Mountain pose. Step or hop the feet hip width apart. Find your energy, and on an inhale, reach the arms up to the sky. Exhale, push the walls away. Good. Gather that energy back up. High mountain. Exhale, take it down. Forward fold. Inhale, swing open to the right. Exhale, return. Inhale, swing open to the left. Exhale, return. Scoop that energy up from below, halfway, and then push it all the way up to the sky. Good. Two dipping birds. Take an inhale here, exhale, and whoosh. Gather that energy back up. Reach up. One more, and exhale. One more time, gather that energy up, bring it back down to heart center. Feel that energy between the hands. And then wherever it needs to go. Good. So we're going to do one more flow, putting all of this together. And I forgot to mention at the beginning of practice, maybe a block will be useful for this. We're going to incorporate a balance posture. So block, wall, chair, anything that you might want as a support might be useful to have. And like I said, we're just going to fold it into what we've already created energetically and movement-wise. So once you have a prop that you think you might want to support balance, you're going to either hands to heart center or hold your chi ball, your prana, right? Shift into your right foot, step the left foot back, opening up to warrior two. Warrior two, we're going to reach it up and back for goddess warrior. Take an inhale here. Exhale, come back to warrior two. Here's where we prep for that balance posture. So balance is half moon. Half moon is the same as extended side angle. So you might stay grounded and bring the hand down the inside of the leg. You might bring your hand to the seat of a chair or a block and float and lift that back leg. If you are in balance, one thing I like to keep in mind is imagine that your foot that's in the air is also on the floor, right? That you can leverage and press through the foot. Spread the toe fingers, or the foot fingers. Spread the toes. Oh my goodness. It's going to be one of those days. Okay. Half moon. Let's go ahead and come from extended side angle or half moon into a forward fold. So if you have that leg lifted, you're going to look down towards the mat. You're going to step that back foot down next to the left. If you're in extended side angle, you'll rise to warrior two and step the feet forward. Take a moment in that forward fold. Good work, everybody. What I saw, everybody looked really balanced, really good. It's a challenging pose. I kind of just threw that in there for you. From that forward fold, let's go ahead and roll up. Go ahead and step or hop those feet hip width apart. Feel your energy. Let your energy reach up to the sky. Then push the walls away, casting that energy around you. Go ahead and scoop that energy back up. And let's plant it into the earth. Forward fold. Swing open to the right. Exhale, return. Swing open to the left. Exhale, return. Go ahead and gather that energy up from the floor. Come halfway and push it all the way up to the sky. Dipping bird 2 times. Take an inhale here, exhale, and send it back. Scoop that energy back up, reach up, and dip. Go ahead one more time. Reach up to the sky. Bring that energy back down to heart center. Know where it needs to go, and when you're ready, release it. We got the other side. One more flow like this. When you're ready, chi ball or hands to heart center. Shift into that left foot more than the right. When you're ready, take that big step back for warrior 2. Warrior 2, flip the front palm, reach it up into goddess warrior. From goddess, let's come back to warrior 2 and prepare for extended side angle or warrior 3. Right, so extended side angle, you're going to anchor down into that back foot. With warrior 3, again, it really is the same posture as extended side angle, but we start to lift a leg. Easy peasy, right? Or not. Right? The leg does not have to come high. Just put a lot of energy into the leg that is the back leg. Look down towards the floor. You're going to come to a forward fold. Bring that leg down. Coming to that forward fold. If you were in extended side angle, lifting up to warrior 2, stepping the feet together and finding a forward fold. From that forward fold, let's go ahead and lift up, roll up. Golden seed. Feeling that energy between the hands, reaching it up to the sky. Push the walls away. Go ahead and gather that energy back up. Then take it down into the earth. Elephant trunk swing. Inhale, open up to the left or the right. Exhale, return. Sorry, you've been doing the right the whole time. Other side whenever you're ready. And return. Scoop up that energy from the floor, come halfway, and then push it all the way up to the sky. Take an inhale here, exhale, dipping bird. Gather that energy back up, reach up. Dipping bird, second time. Go ahead and gather that energy back up. Bring that energy back to heart center. Maybe take a moment to feel how that energy is. You decide where it needs to go. And when you're ready, releasing it. We're going to bring our sort of standing practice to, I kind of mentioned this is like the yang side of yin. So when we bring our golden seed practice to the end, we're going to slow it down, which actually means a little bit more density in strength, right? So we're going to use our muscles because we're going to hold a little longer. So one last golden seed round, just really building the energy in the body. So go ahead and feel that seed in between the hands when you're ready. We're going to go ahead and reach up to the sky, really feeling the energy line from the heels to the top of the head. Grow in your high mountain pose. Really feel that length. Just taking time here, breathing nice and full, letting energy move through you from fingertips to the feet. Following your breath line, you can take an inhale here and then exhale, push the walls away. Again, we're going to hold this for a little bit. So you can stay in a hold in stillness. You could rock a little side to side in the hips if you choose. If you're just wanting something stronger, lift the heels and do that. Remember to breathe. Sink deeper, also another option for challenge. Don't have to do any of these things. They're just available if you choose. All right, if you have those heels up, go ahead and plant them. Let's return to that high mountain pose. So you're going to extend the legs if they're bent, parallel the feet, and reach up. Planting this energy down, you're going to come to a forward fold. Pause here, 3 breaths. We're going to do elephant trunk swing just to pace. So on your next inhale, go ahead and swing open to the right. Exhale, return. Swing open to the left. Exhale, return. We're going to gather this up, come halfway, and hold for 2 breaths. So, chair pose, essentially. Feel the energy of pushing down through the heels. Feel the strength in the legs. Feel the density of your energy. Let's go ahead one more time. Push it all the way up to the sky. Dipping bird, we also go to pace. So we're going to take a nice big breath in here. Exhale, whoosh it back. Inhale, reach back up, parallel the feet. Last dipping bird, and scoop that energy back up. Reach up to the sky. This energy might feel a little different, right? We took a little more time with it. We built a little more heat in the body, might have changed shape, size, weight. Whenever you feel ready to release it, maybe infuse one more breath into your energy and then let it go when you're ready, in, around, or without. Good. That was a pretty fast-paced class. So just take a moment to check in with how, joints feel, shoulders, elbows, fingers, feet, fingers, toes. Circle the hips if you need to, maybe roll the neck a little. So I'd like to finish our practice actually on the floor and on the back. You can adapt this to seated in a chair if that will serve your practice today. And I know for many of you, I didn't offer a downward facing dog. If you're like, dang, I like downward facing dog, I'll cue you to get down to the floor that way. But know that you can just be safe in your body, make your way down to the floor if that's where you're practicing. So if you're following down dog flow, reach the arms up to the sky for high mountain. Exhale, take it down to that forward fold. Bend the knees enough to get the hands down to the mat. And then walking hands and feet away until you feel this nice even distribution between the upper body and the back and the lower legs. Downward facing dog can feel really nice on the body. It creates some great length for the spine, and you might choose to stay there for a few breaths. Another sort of option in our sort of in between or limbo space is you might return to the knees and take a child's pose for a few breaths. You could also do a few more rounds of cow and cat pose. All right, so again, you can be in down dog, you could be in child's, you could be just resting, you could be grabbing a drink of water. And as I mentioned, we're going to finish practice on the back. So when you're ready, start to make your way onto your back. So again, if you're doing this, I always feel like wish I could put like a little video demonstration in the quarter if you're doing this chair base, but if you're doing this in the chair, You're gonna be leaning into the backrest of the chair, making sure your feet touch the earth. If you're on the back with me, right, you're letting your spine settle into the mat, maybe with the knees bent, grounding the feet and rocking the knees side to side, letting those hips settle. And as I mentioned, there's some universals, right? Seated in a chair, lying on the back. We can do figure 4 from here. So uh, if you're ready to come into your pigeon pose, right, you can cross an ankle over a thigh. Make sure that it does not feel injurious to any of your joints. So if ankle over thigh doesn't feel right, you might kind of bring that ankle, you could do ankle to shin or ankle to ankle. It's really okay to kind of explore the best angle, if you will, for your body. If you feel like you want more depth, particularly in the hip flexion, right, from the floor, you draw the foot in. From the chair, you draw your torso towards your legs. It's the same thing. We're just utilizing gravity a different way. We did a lot of movement. We flowed. Notice how you're feeling. You feel still a lot of energy coursing through your body, some buzzing and humming. Do your muscles feel warm? We started out with something that relied on the outside. We spent quite a bit of time listening. And although that is an organ we have, right? We have our ears and our ear canals. It does rely on the outside to be present. It's a great way to start to transition from our routines to a mindfulness space. But here, maybe you check in with the sounds, but maybe you even reflect like, wow, I haven't been thinking about the sounds a lot. I notice more about my heartbeat, how my muscles feel. If you like the idea of energy, maybe you've got a sense of what that energy feels like. Let's take one more breath here in figure 4, pigeon pose on the side. And then when you're ready to release, if you are floated or have your torso forward on the chair, you're going to lengthen up the spine or lower the leg and then release that cross leg. You can windshield wiper the legs. You could straighten the legs from here. Let's set up the other side. So you can cross ankle over thigh. Again, you've got the options if you want to explore that depth. If you're on the floor and you want to explore deeper hip flexion, you would float the leg. If you're seated in the chair, you draw your heart towards your thighs. Same movement, just different relationship to gravity. It is okay to not be over vigilant about awareness within, right? We don't want to feel like we can feel every goosebump or every hair follicle move. We don't want to be that moved in or microscopic about awareness and sensation. But if you're still in that space of just kind of noticing how far you've come, what's your energy like here? What do you notice in this moment? I talked a lot about being able to feel present to heartbeat, body temperature, being within. It is okay if your mind still has a lot happening, right? We all have incredibly busy and fulfilling lives that also have our attention and our hearts. So it is okay that we have those fluctuations between still being in this practice, still being mindful, and also being aware of all the external pieces that are part of our life. Okay, we've been on this side for about the same amount of time as the first side. If you are with a floated leg or heart towards the thigh, go ahead and lengthen up the spine, release the leg down. You can windshield wiper those legs. You could stretch through those legs. I would like to offer a twist side to side as a finishing posture. If there is something else that you need in your body that, we kind of did a little bit different practice today. It is okay that I may not have given you your favorite posture or pose to do. So feel free to do any last movement that you'd like. Otherwise, I'll be guiding through a spinal twist. Again, pretty similar if you're doing it on a chair or on your back. If you're on the chair, you have to be more diligent about sitting up nice and tall so the shoulders are over the hips. But then we go ahead and twist. If you're lying on the back, the floor gives you a neutral spine. You might float the legs and drop them over to one side. Seated, you rotate from the shoulder points, bringing opposite hand to opposite thigh. And let's go ahead and come back to center. And if you're ready, go ahead and drop. Spinal twist to the other side. Go ahead and come back to center on the back or upright in the chair. You can float or draw one knee in towards the belly and release. Other knee in towards the belly and release. You're ready for final Shavasana. Go ahead and extend the legs long on the mat or bring a cushion underneath the knees. Final Shavasana. It's okay if you're still getting there or adjusting so that it feels like the right space for you. Know that you can take as much time as you need to rest, be in Shavasana for as long as you'd like. There is no rush. There's no hurry. Know that this is your time. It might be that our lives beckon us back into wakefulness, but be gentle, ease in slowly. Maybe one more time, tap within to awaken, starting with the presence of feeling movement, whether you start small with wiggling fingers and toes, and really kind of feeling what that feels like to do those movements, right? We take sometimes joint mobilizations for granted. Do any other movements that might feel good in your body, moving through the wrists and the ankles, stretching through the arms or bending elbows and knees, but go at your pace. It's really okay to take your time. Maybe there's something that you would like to take with you into the rest of your day, reflecting or knowing that you can always come back within whenever you need a moment, whether that simply is a breath, whether it is to just invite in the possibilities of what your energy is like and seeing if there's an answer when you ask the question. Many of the practices in yoga, I just gratefully appreciate that we do have these practices available. And you might have that sentiment or sense as well, where maybe there's no specific words that come to mind, but we just appreciate that we take this time and this moment to be within. And so maybe you simply say, thank you, body, to your heart, to your cells, to your bones, to your muscles. Thank you. If you are ready to close in community, you might find your way up to a seated position. I'd like to guide us through an Om, and a moment of silence. After the Om, we'll exhale, inhale, and then Om. Now that you can join in, voice or ears whenever you're ready. Exhale out all the air in your body. Take a deep breath into Om. Om. The light within me honors and sees that light and that energy within you. Thank you for sharing your energy, your heart, and you in this space today. Namaste. Hmm. All right, I will stop our recording and stay on. Newsletter will be coming out probably later today or tomorrow.